Poor Dave. He's wandered the savannah, scratching his head. Kitty, have you seen my mammoth? He sighs, looking distraught. Kitty, his big mottled ginger companion, nuzzles him with a purr, trying to cheer him up. Don't worry, Dave, she seems to say. We'll find your ride together. Dave glances around, still worried, but Kitty gives his hand a gentle pat. With a deep breath, Dave manages a small smile. Maybe this won't be so bad with Kitty by his side. But before Dave and Kitty can reunite with their mammoth, a new challenge arises. Thirst. The Stone Age sun blazes overhead and the savannah stretches out endlessly before them. Dave wipes his brow, feeling the heat, while Kitty's tail droops just a little. As they trudge through the tall golden grasses and weave between ancient boulders, Dave mutters, "If only I'd parked closer to a watering hole." Kitty pauses, nose twitching, ears perked. She sniffs the breeze, then darts forward with purpose, beckoning Dave to follow. They scramble over a rocky outcrop, and there, glinting in the sunlight, is a sparkling prehistoric stream. Dave laughs with relief, rushing to the water's edge. Kitty dips her paw in first, then laps up the cool water, purring contentedly. Dave kneels beside her, cupping water in his hands, feeling the coolness revive his spirits. Refreshed and ready, Dave grins at Kitty. The search for the mammoth can continue. After all, every great adventure needs a pit stop. After their refreshing drink, Dave's stomach gives a mighty rumble loud enough to startle a flock of tiny rainbow-feathered proto-birds from the trees. Kitty's ears twitch, and she lets out a melodramatic yawn, pawing at her belly. Clearly it's time for a prehistoric snack. Together they set off through a jungle of oversized ferns and giant candy-coloured mushrooms. Kitty pounces hopefully at a bush, only to emerge with her whiskers covered in sticky blue berry juice. Dave tries to dig up some roots, but ends up with a mouthful of dirt and a sheepish grin. Suddenly, a plump prehistoric chicken fluffier than any bird you've ever seen struts past, clucking smugly. With a gleam in her eye, Kitty launches into a slow-motion chase, Dave stumbling after her, both dodging bouncing fruit and startled lizards. The chicken, however, is far too clever, flapping up into a tree and raining down a shower of ripe, mammoth-sized fruit. With a thud, one enormous fruit lands at Dave's feet. He cracks it open, revealing a sweet, juicy centre. Kitty sniffs approvingly, then dives in, munching contentedly beside Dave as the sun sets in a blaze of prehistoric colour. Sharing their unexpected feast, Dave and Kitty exchange a happy, berry-stained grin. In the Stone Age, the best meals are the ones you find together. As the prehistoric sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky with streaks of orange and purple, Dave and Kitty let out matching yawns. Adventure is tiring work, and it's definitely time to find somewhere safe and cosy to sleep. Dave, ever the optimist, suggests a cave. Kitty nods, stretching her paws with a lazy enthusiasm. Together they wander the lush, cartoonish landscape, past candy-coloured mushrooms and towering ferns, on the hunt for the perfect Stone Age snooze spot. First, Dave pokes his head into a hollow log. It looks promising until a family of rather cranky beetles chases him out. Next, Kitty leaps onto a mossy rock, only to land with a splash in a muddy puddle. She emerges looking thoroughly unimpressed, ears drooping and tail dripping. Undeterred, they trudge on, only to accidentally startle a cloud of bats from a tangled tree. Wings flap everywhere as Dave and Kitty duck and weave through the chaos, Kitty's fur standing on end like a startled dandelion. Finally, perched high on a hillside, they spot it, the perfect cave, mysterious and inviting. They tiptoe closer, peering inside. Suddenly, a pair of enormous glowing eyes flash in the darkness. Out pads a mighty cave lion, its mane wild and its teeth gleaming in the twilight. Dave freezes like a startled statue. Kitty's fur puffs up to twice its usual size. With a mighty echoing roar, the cave lion sends our heroes scrambling. Dave and Kitty tumble down the hillside in a flurry of limbs, paws and panicked squeaks. At the bottom they land in a heap, catching their breath, then sharing a breathless giggle. Maybe sleeping under the stars isn't such a bad idea after all. Dave and Kitty snuggle up on a soft patch of grass, the night sky twinkling above. In the distance, the cave lion curls up in its cave, purring contentedly. Everyone at last in their perfect spot for a Stone Age snooze. As the stars twinkle overhead, Dave dusts himself off and glances sheepishly at Kitty. She arches an eyebrow, tail flicking, and gives him a look that clearly says, "So, which way's home, genius?" Dave puffs up, striking his best "I've got this" pose, only for his stomach to rumble loud enough to startle a nearby dodo. Determined, the duo set off through the vibrant moonlit landscape, past trees shaped suspiciously like broccoli, and a signpost pointing vaguely to somewhere, maybe. Dave studies a map that's just a leaf with squiggly lines, turning it upside down as Kitty rolls her eyes and bats it away. They follow a trail of giant polka-dotted footprints, only to discover they belong to a parade of disco-dancing trilobites, complete with mirror ball shells. Undeterred, Kitty sniffs out a clue, a tuft of mammoth fur snagged on a neon-pink fern. Dave grins, but immediately walks into a low-hanging branch, sending a rain of prehistoric pine cones tumbling onto his head. After a few more comic detours, dodging a sleepwalking stegosaurus and mistaking a mossy boulder for a woolly mammoth, it snores, the friends clamber up a hill. There, silhouetted against the glowing starry sky, is the unmistakable shape of a mammoth, trunk raised in a friendly wave. Dave and Kitty exchange a triumphant high-five paw, hope and adventure shining in their eyes as they dash off towards their mammoth ride, ready for whatever the Stone Age throws at them next. Under the shimmering prehistoric sky, Dave and Kitty tiptoe away from the not-so-peaceful cave, where a cave lion's snoring still rattles the rocks. Dave, ever the optimist, waves his leaf map with a flourish. Kitty, unimpressed, narrows her eyes and flicks her tail, silently daring him to actually know where he's going. Their journey begins with Dave confidently marching straight into a patch of glowing jelly bean-shaped mushrooms. They bounce off his knees and light up like a disco floor, much to Kitty's amusement. She bounds ahead, pausing to peer at a tree that seems to be yawning its branches, stretching and curling like a sleepy sloth. As they wander, Dave tries to read ancient cave graffiti, squinting at stick figure drawings that look suspiciously like someone chasing their own tail. Kitty meows, "Maybe it's a map." Dave grins, only to step into a puddle that giggles. Yes, giggles, sending ripples of rainbow colour across the ground. They pause at a crossroads, one path lined with candyfloss ferns, the other guarded by a trio of dodos wearing pebble hats. Dave scratches his head, spinning in a slow circle. Kitty hops onto a rock, flicks her paw, and points right at the distant silhouette of their mammoth ride, its trunk just visible above a hilltop. Dave beams. "See? I told you I'd find it." Kitty rolls her eyes, but there's a hint of a smile as they stride off together, the prehistoric world twinkling around them with promise, laughter, and just a little bit of chaos.